Good. This is the 45th Super Bowl. 4 plus 5 is 9. We're dealing with creation.
Wow.
And so
9 is completion.
9 is completion. And so let's check this stuff out. It says that thus far science has failed to present sufficient concrete evidence to prove the origin and systematical development by a definite Yahweh given pattern, purpose, and final destiny of the universe. Neither have the theological exponents of the sacred scriptures been able to do so with any dependable degree or scientific accuracy or intellectual infallibility. For example, some of our theological commentators on the sacred scriptures expressed the belief that there was a pre-Adamic earth created and inhabited by a human race of people and destroyed before the creation of Adam. The subject is introduced in explanatory theological writings under the caption original or pre-Adamic earth. This theological ideal is conceived and based on Genesis 1:1, which reads as follows: in the beginning Elohim created the heaven and the earth. The foregoing quotation is offered and is supposed by the proponents of the doctrinal idea to be the original or pre-Adamic earth with the previously created human inhabitants therein. For some reason, presumably seeing the exponents of this theological idea aim to show that Elohim overthrew the original or pre-Adamic earth by using the second verse in Genesis to prove their point, which reads as follows: and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. If we are to abide by the rules of correct interpretation of language and punctuation, we are definitely compelled to disagree with the idea of supplemental disposition of unwritten words between the first and second verses of Genesis to modify the correct reading to prove non-scriptural, unsupported theological theory. To us, the correct way to read and understand the first and second verses of the first chapter of Genesis are as follows. Notice that the first verse and first sentence in the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and the earth, ends with the period. The second verse and second sentence begins with the word and, which is an articulation or conjunction that joins together the first and second verses of Genesis 1 through 2. To complete this thought, hence the second verse is Moses' actual description of the condition which the atmospheric heaven, not heavens, and physical earth was in when they were spontaneously created in the realm of eternity. That is to say, the atmospherical heaven had no cosmic light, neither did it have a luminous physical objects such as the sun, moon, and stars. Likewise, the physical earth first appeared in its inorganic and inanimate state, as Moses also indicates in his vision and stated in the second verse, Genesis 1:2. As here 2:4 stated, Moses, while within the clouds atop Mount Sinai during his first trip up into the mountain, saw Elohim in a vision creating the heaven and the earth, day by day in logical sequence during the first 6 solar days of this vision. Whereupon the creation having been finished, Elohim rested the 7th day, or the Sabbath, from his work of creation. Therefore, John states that he was on the Isle of Patmos on the Sabbath day, or the 7th day, which is the same day that Moses states that Elohim rested from his work of creation. Moses having seen Elohim, the beginning of creation, and John having seen the Messiah in his vision of the same Elohim on the 7th day, the ending, which for this reason we say that Moses was looking from beginning to ending, and John was looking from ending to beginning to complete, or to confirm the fulfillment of all things which were written in the law and the prophecies, Luke 24:44, which were done by the Elohim or Yahshua the Messiah to manifest his entire purpose and plan through the dispensations and ages, or from the beginning to the ending thereof. The esoteric secret and profound mystery of Yahweh revealed to the apostles. It is true that the angels of the invisible realm and the patriarchs and prophets of the visible realm in the past dispensations and ages saw visions, spoke, and wrote under the influence of a higher power. But it is quite clear to the divine, philosophical, and scientific mind that the great esoteric, secret of secrets, and profound mystery of mysteries of Yahweh was not understood by them. It's Colossians 1:26-27. That is to say, it was hid in Yahweh and not revealed unto them in its utter simplicity. 1 Peter 1:1-12. According to biblical chronology, the flood of the Lord took place in the year of 1656 a.m. after the finished creation, or 2348 BY. The vocation of the patriarch Abraham begins 427 years after the flood. Yahshua the Messiah said to the Jews, before Abraham was I am, John 8:58. In confirmation of the above statement of the Messiah, the apostles John and Paul stated that Yahshua the Messiah, of whom Moses and the prophets wrote, Luke 24:44, was Yahweh Elohim himself manifested in the flesh. John 1:1-4, 14:1. 1 through 4 and 14. 1 Timothy 3:16. Therefore, before the beginning of creation, and many centuries before the days of his flesh, after the 24, 10 through 11, he was the ultimate and original source from which all esoteric, secret, and profound mysteries have their beginning. 25, 28. Getting tight.
Get this one stop. You just threw it down the field. Can't let him score no more.
As such, he, Yahweh Elohim, is the source, substance, and the creator of all so-called inanimate objects, or things and living creatures, visible and invisible. Whereas in the days of his flesh, he knew and understood all things. According to the biography of his life, in the days of his flesh, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, he proved this inescapable truth by the infinite wisdom wherewith he taught the people and by the many miracles which Yahweh performed through him, Yahshua. As for Yahshua's teaching in the days of his flesh, it went a million miles over the heads of the Sanhedrin Council, teachers of Israel, and the multitudes. Today, nearly 2,000 years hence, it is still as far over the heads of so-called Christendom. If this was not true, the world of mankind would have become reconciled to Yahweh and among themselves in the beginning of the Christian era and remained so until this day. As for his miracles which Yahweh performed through him, he turned water into wine, told men their unexpressed thoughts, healed the sick, raised the dead, walked on the water, fed the multitudes, caused the fig tree to wither, and stilled the tempest. Later on, you will learn that Yahshua the Messiah performed these miracles by universal spirit law and according to the divine pattern of the universe. Yahshua the Messiah fulfilled the law and the prophets, Luke 24:44, and told his disciples that they would receive the Holy Spirit from Elohim after his departure out of the flesh, which would reveal the secrets of the Most High Il unto them and impart knowledge and understanding of the mystery of his way and will. After the ascension of the Messiah, Elohim did reveal the great secrets of secrets and mystery of mysteries to the chosen disciples of the Messiah. Thereafter they knew by the divine pattern and the law of the commandments and the ark of the covenant that there was in existence an archetype pattern of the universe with the spirit law embodied therein. They understood the silent but powerful perpetual routine function and operations of the universal spirit law in relative coordination with the archetype pattern. Since then, however, few others, if any, have ever received the full profound knowledge of the existence of the archetype pattern and thoroughly understood the perpetual routine operation of the spirit law by which the universe was methodically created and perpetually controlled thereafter with unerring accuracy. The universal ontological argumentation in favor of the existence of a supreme being. To speak directly of the master people on the earth, it would be absurd to say here that mankind from his very earliest inception in the past ages did not believe in the existence of the supreme being of his imagination, simply because of his expressing the manifested ignorance of the eternal existence of the true pattern and spirit law of the universe and the fundamental principles involved in the operation of the spirit law embodied therein. Even though we do have many professed skeptics, atheists, agnostics, and infidels in this present age, the tested truth and scientifically proven facts in the case are as follows. 1. Many sacred historians or biblical writers, including the ancient, medieval, and modern, or from Enoch, the seventh, from Adam, and Moses, the celebrated writer, now author of the Pentateuch, and to the confirmatory book of Revelation written by John the Apostle, speaking of the creation activities of man, even in his primitive and also most advanced state, give rise to the conviction as well as the final conclusion that man actually was created with sufficient intellectual capacities. He was imbued with intelligence and power to reason, a disposition to fear and serve, and an instinct to believe in the external existence of a supreme being who was and remained far more superior in power and intelligence than man himself. In fact, the Apostle Paul agreed with one of the Grecian poets or philosophers that we are the offspring of Elohim. Oh, man.
Moving down the field.
Hey. 2. That was confirmed that we are the offspring of Elohim, Acts 17:28. 2. Likewise, many profane historians and philosophers, including the ancient, medieval, and modern, from Herodotus to H.G. Wells and from Confucius to those of today, speaking of the created state of primitive man in reference to his belief in the eternal existence of the supreme being, lead directly to the same conviction and final conclusions as those of the sacred writers. 3. To add to the abundance of testimony already given, the American and British archaeological expeditionary forces, searching here and there or wherever prehistoric beasts or men are thought to have existed, have unearthed plenty of incontestable evidence that since man's inception in every age, he has exercised faith in the existence of a supreme being. Discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1947 and the information stipulated in them further lends credibility and support to our argument that man always did believe in the existence of a supreme being. So we understand, according to the records It is not the idea that mankind does not believe in the existence of a supreme being. We find that it is true that he has had many conceptions and imaginations regarding what he has thought and now thinks Yahweh or God is. Hence the rise of the polytheistic, pantheistic, and monotheistic conceptions of Yahweh. These are about the oldest theories which attempt to explain and impart some knowledge of the great Elohim and creator of the universe. Many new religious theories are being born every year, while millions of people throughout the world are becoming more and more confused. As heretofore stated, some have given up the search for Yahweh in despair, professing to be skeptics, atheists, agnostics, and infidels. They take this attitude because they are unable to find Yahweh for themselves or reconcile themselves to honestly believe in the unknown Elohim and the dogmatic religious philosophy and deception of the masses. Others are pressing on, leaving no stone unturned, honestly searching for Yahweh with renewed determination. Among this group are some of the world's most brilliant academically trained scientists. Many of these scientists, equipped with an expansion of intelligence and new or recently improved mechanical instruments, are laboring in every field of modern research. They are attempting to further explore the material and physical realm, hoping to find Yahweh and solve the unexplained, mysterious riddle of the universe. It is generally believed